Do you ever know, prior to meeting him, or the conversation you had with Patrick Houtman in the driveway on the morning that Carol was arrested, February 18th, 2001, had you ever had any conversation with Patrick Houtman before that day?
There were three times I'd gone to pick her up from the Davises, which are the incidents you have, on record. There were cops there. He was there. I'd seen him.
How many times had you, prior to that day in the driveway, that you can remember, how many times in your life had you seen Patrick Houtman?
3, maybe 4, because I had an incident in my house over a dog, and there were several police there, so I don't know if he was one of them or not. I think he was.
So Patrick Houtman came to your house on a call about a dog?
There were about 7 cops. I had a dog bite a kid next door, and it was, it was in the hot thing.
Your dog?
My dog had been let out by the neighbors, and it was...
How did Mr. Houtman conduct himself on that day?
He was never the aggressive one. I mean, he was never the one that talked to me.
So he was
not
just
the
there.
one that came up to me. He's not the one that talked.
So he was just in the background?
Yes.
On the other instances that you saw Mr. Houtman, they were all in connection with police calls to the Davises?
Yes, I was called from Channelview on 125.99, and I had to go from Channelview to her house, and there were, I don't know, I said there were at least 4, I called them muscle builders in the living room, and she was in the corner, and I had to talk her out, to get out so I could take her home with me.
And this was a dispute between Mr. and Miss Davis?
This is 125.99, yes.
And did Mr. Houtman do anything that day that you remember?
The only thing that it scared me was because when I walked in the house, there were so many police officers so big and they're so muscled up. All I could see was muscles and see her, and I just said, well, we got to go. They gave me 2 minutes to get her out of the house.
But at any point was Mr. Houtman unprofessional, or
no? But at my house, yes.
At the dog?
No. On 2/18/2001,
okay.
when he came
but
to
before the driveway motion, so when you saw him in the driveway, you knew who he was?
Yes, I mean, he was
a
familiar guy.
Right, you had your conversation with him in the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing out of the ordinary about the conversation?
He's as sweet as he could be.
Okay. When did you next see Patrick Houtman?
When he came to my driveway.
All right, and tell me about why he came to your driveway.
He came to my driveway, I do not know the time, with Mr. Davis, Tom Davis, in the car. They drove up.
Tom Davis is?
Mr. Davis, Lonnie Davis's dad,
okay.
was in the front seat of the police car. I'd already told Mr. Hoffman that his car was in my garage.
Mr. Davis's car?
Lonnie Davis's car. And so I told him to have Lonnie call me. I mean, I didn't even think about it. I just said to have Lonnie call me. And
that was back in the driveway?
When I was at Lonnie's house.
Okay, but now we're back at your house.
Because he asked me where the car was. I said, it's in my driveway, it's in my garage.
So he comes by later that day?
Sometime later, yes.
Do you remember whether you'd already gone to the jail at that point or not?
That's the part I'm confused about, because I don't remember if it was, I don't think I'd gone to the jail for some reason, because, I didn't mention Mace, there wasn't any, it was just him and, it was just them. I wasn't dealing with any other issues. That's why I said I'd like to have the log, because I don't know anything about the time.
But at this point, to the best of your knowledge, he comes over before you'd gone to the jail?
I think so.
Okay. And he comes with Mr. Davis, Tom Davis,
mm-hmm.
in his squad car?
Yes.
And knocks on your door? Or were you outside? Or how did...
I think he knocked on the door and he backed up to the car. He backed up to the drive. I mean, he walked back to the cop car.
And
I walked out.
And what did he say to you?
He said, you need to surrender the car.
And what did you say?
I said, no.
And what did he say?
He said, well, I had permission, and I've called the district attorney's office, and they've given me permission to get the car. And I said, Patrick, I said, it's a civil dispute. He said, well, Carol said that, you could surrender the car. And I said, well, she's in jail. What do you expect her to say? And I said, I'm sorry. I said, I have, if Lonnie wants to come over and get the car, he can. I said, go get Lonnie. I said, I do not want to give it to his dad. It's ridiculous. I said, Lonnie can come over and get his car. So I said. And he came up to me with the cuffs, you know, on the back of the thing saying, I'm going to arrest you. And I said, wait a minute.
So he said he's going to arrest you?
Yes, he came at me and said, I'm going to take you in. I said, well, let's think about this a minute, Patrick. I said, it's a civil matter. I said, you've got him in the car. And I said, I'm not going to willingly give you the car. I said, but if his dad can jump out of the car and run in my garage and get it out, fine. I had the key in my hand. And I said, I don't agree. I said, this is a civil matter, not a criminal matter. And I said, you're going to arrest me over the car. You want me to go to jail too. So you think I'm that stupid to go to jail with Carol over the car. He said, yeah, I'll take you in. I said, then tell Mr. Davis to get the car. He's got 20 seconds to clear the driveway.
And did he do so?
Yeah.
Did you have any further discussion with Mr. Hauptman that day?
No.
Have you had any discussion with Mr. Hauptman since that day?
I don't think so.
And other than the fact that you thought it was a civil matter, did Mr. Hauptman act in a professional way toward you?
Professional? No. I think what he did was break the law. I said, this is a civil matter, not a criminal matter, and Lonnie doesn't get to have the cops with all, come get the car. I said, why can't Lonnie come get his own car? Well, I said, why is this always about the car?
Okay. How about David Lorenz? Have you ever met David Lorenz?
I'm not sure, but I think he might have been the one that came to my house. I don't have that police incident report on my dog.
But I mean, if I showed you pictures of 10 guys, could you pick out David Lorenz?
No, I mean, he's just a big, gruff guy, no. I mean, maybe.
Did you say big, gruff guy?
I just meant, I don't know. I mean, I just see this gruff guy when my dog got bitten, and, that's the only thing I can, you have to understand. I mean,
but you've never had a conversation with David
Not
Lorenz?
that I'm aware, no.
Or any incident with him that he may have been at your house for the dogs.
There was there was 10 cops there, so I don't know, but 3 were in my house being very aggressive. I have Doberman Pinschers. I mean,
they were being aggressive with you or the Doberman Pinschers?
Well, you have to understand, I mean, a lot of stuff happened right then, and it was like, it was terrible, and I handled it the best way I could, but they came into my house very aggressively because whatever happened out in the yard I didn't know about. It happened out in front when I was there, and when my dog and so whatever happened, they all knew about it. So when they came in, I'm a dog trainer. I put my dogs up, and they, and I handed the one that bit the kid. The animal control came in, and I handed them. I was trying to get the dog out of the neighborhood and get it. I was very upset.
Now, in the federal complaint, the plaintiff's amended complaint that you filed in federal court, not you filed, that Mr. Payne filed in federal court, but that my understanding is that you worked with. You're laughing. Why are you laughing?
Which one is it?
It's this one. In fact, you can mark
Just
it.
give
if
me
you
the
want.
date.
August 15th.
Yes, you can tell it to me. Yes.
It is you.
No, because it's so professionally done. Mr. Payne. I only had like 20 minutes to do this stuff, so, I'm telling you, 20 minutes, first drafts, got into the federal court.
Right, let me mark as Exhibit 9 a copy of plaintiff's amended complaint, and I'll ask if you recognize it, and did you help prepare that? Mm-hmm. Roughly what percentage of those are sort of your words?
Okay, Mr. Payne is brilliant at writing.
Okay.
I'm not. I write 5. I think I might have written, because you had to brief him on every person separately.
Okay.
I do have to explain. Every person in this had to be briefed. I mean, it's a brief. You have to get the information, brief him, drive it to him, wait, one at a time. So when you get it all compiled, he's very good at taking it off the big pile and giving you a tape and then giving you an hour to do it. So each one of these people, the only information he had, because he never saw a file, he never touched a file.
Came from you.
Came from me. So this information, when I wrote it though, the thing is that's weird about him and me is that he was very